Peace to all the queens.
What's up out there? We live.
Tapping in.
I need everybody to tap in.
Cool people.
Everybody to tap in.
Eat with a poet.
Subscribe.
Never leak it or show it.
Shout out
Gotta
to
pull
Elaina.
your own weight. If you reap it, you sow it. Come eat with a poet. Gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food. Come and eat with a poet. Kicking words with the poets, I get lyrical. Physical is great, my journey now is spiritual. Peace to the queens and the nation and foreign. I would like to introduce you to Elaina the poet. Stay down in the jungle like some bare feet. Now when we toast, ace of spade, no more bare feet. Poking beans, Dane County, yeah, I'm still hood. Spread love, feed the homeless cause it feel good. Now pay attention, this is knowledge of wealth. Throw the school books away, this is knowledge of self. Quiet is kept, listen, this the Revolution broadcast. Now pay attention to Elaina and her podcast. Never leak it and show it. Gotta pull your own weight if you reap it, you sow it. Yeah, gotta plan it.
Hey, all right. That's my jam. Welcome to Eat with the Poet. I am your host, Elaina the Poet, and today we got a banging show for you. I'm so excited. Right now, you know we got to get our shout-outs out the way first. So the first person you know I'm shouting out is Cool People. One time for Cool People and my music, okay? All right. And then we're shouting out Gigi's Music Cafe, where we are shooting right now. Eat with the Poet. I love the love that I get whenever I come through to Gigi's Music Cafe. I got my girl Summer here, and one time for Chef Terrence in the back, chefing it up for me and my special guest in the building with us today. All right. We shouting out Belle P Photography and Videography. We shouting out Crystal Chanel with Press Release Marketing. We're shouting out WP Marketing, my marketing team. We are shouting out Maury Tai with Beyond Imagination Art. We are shouting out Queen's Love Passion for hair braiding styles. Compliments of Sandra Queen Lewis. We're gonna give you their handles at the end of the show, but we shouting her out one time for the braids. All right, we are shouting out Miss Gigi Brown herself for letting us shoot here, of course, and just for all the amazing things she's doing in the community. She also the owner of G's Gourmet Market here in Sunrise, Florida, an English brown winery where she has a wide variety of wine selections that are her very own. One time for, again, Chef Terrence in the back. I can't wait to eat, y'all. All right. And last and certainly not least, we are shouting out Jesus because I am a Jesus girl. Gang, gang, gang. Every time. All right. Before we get into our show today, I just want to tell you that today's topic is going to be about female emotional health and how do we balance and mature it. And I think this is going to be a real hot topic today, guys. We will have a special guest come on our second half and eat with us. And then, of course, we will ask her views on today's topic. She is a minister, a carpenter, a woman of many talents, and recently turned author. She recently released her book titled Lost in a Familiar Place, which she will also discuss briefly. So we are so honored to have her here with us today. But first, before we do anything, you know we got to order from the menu. So, Summer, y'all know we need Summer. We can't do nothing without her. You know what I'm drinking today? Bob Marley. Gigi's has the best Bob Marley. They make Bob Marley's other places. Bob Marley's over here. Yeah, let's do that. I ain't gonna tell y'all what we eat. Y'all wait. Nah, y'all will see later. All right. Okay, so today, what I want to talk to you guys about is I really want to talk more to the women, especially us women who often have mood changes based on a wave of emotions. Is this healthy for your physical? Do you recognize it and accept it? Do you acknowledge it and admit that you need to change it, but you do not? Or do you not understand it at all? Do you find that you are always easily offended and have to talk yourself out of cursing people out all the time?
Now keep in mind that I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my.
Do you find yourself cursing them out anyway, be it in their face or behind their back? You just always have an issue with people. Or is it the other way around? That people always have an issue with you or with life, and mostly you can't figure out what you want for yourself. Yet you kind of know what you want for yourself. You just don't have a feeling of being complete. Oh, but don't get it twisted, okay? You are justified in every emotion you feel, so you think. You know how the mind is. It does its own thing, you know? All right, so I once asked a young lady, do you think you are an emotional creature? And she responded instantly, yes. I asked why, and she replied, because I make most of my decisions based off my emotions, and I know I need to stop it, but it's just how I am, right? That's how I wrecked my car, because I was upset with my man. I was texting him and I wasn't paying attention, and I hit my car into something moving too fast, being emotional. She also went on to explain that she realized that she gets so emotional with her significant other because at certain times she judges him based off his past mistakes in their relationship, mistakes that he made that broke her heart. Yet she decided to forgive him and stay. Interesting, right? Are there any women out there who can relate directly to this lady? I gave y'all a pause so y'all can answer. Have you been functioning in unresolved, right? Have you been in a place where all your past experiences are just that, past experiences, but they are not a thing of the past? Let's be honest, y'all. They affect the way you function in the present. Hello? Ring. Can somebody be transparent and say, that's me? Right. It's unhealthy, y'all. It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to the people in your life. Obviously, there is no way that you can be balanced in one relationship and then not balanced or unbalanced in all the other ones. It must be overall, right? Like, there's no balance anywhere. You can't just have one balanced relationship and then all the other relationships be unbalanced. You get what I'm saying, right? All right, so basically, I just kind of wanted to get into that. Y'all know everything I do is kind of like thought-provoking. And then I just, I don't have a full answer for you, but I'm always giving you what I feel is my opinion, which is what I feel can be effective to people and to change, right? Okay, so what I need you to understand is my opinion is that it would be that you would need to take time, the time that it requires to dig deep and get into those emotions and fold them like a pile of clean laundry and place them neatly in the drawer where you can use them accordingly at your will with your choice to mix and match with whatever emotion evens out to be the perfect attire for each day. And just like that perfectly put together outfit, just like that perfectly put together outfit that you carefully took from your organized dresser drawer, you wear it with a different feeling. You feel fresh, you feel clean, you feel neat, and you feel put together, right? Right? And even if someone doesn't like your outfit, it cannot erase that you are neat, you are clean, or that you feel fresh, and therefore you smell fresh. Now, where I'm from, when your senses work, you can smell something that smells wrong, or you can smell something that is pleasant, right? What are you saying, Elaina? Well, what I'm saying is that confidence, peace, love, wholeness, and understanding are the beams of light that people can smell off of you like a fragrance. These things come with balance of emotions and maturity, right? Okay, so we still in my bag of opinions. We must get control of ourselves. I believe the true source of coming into oneself is connecting with the one and only true God. Now, do not get me wrong. Are there some women out there who have tapped in and can respond to life in a way of amazement to most of us? Have you ever heard yourself or one of your girls say, girl, she better than me because I couldn't have done that? Right? Okay. Well, she may be better than you in one way, but in other ways, she's just like you. Do I know any women personally who life does not make them respond emotionally? Yes, I do. And guess what? They're like 80 years old. Yeah, because they've lived and they've seen so much that hardly anything can ever rattle them anymore. That is what we need, y'all. Light bulb. We need the emotional balance of an 80-year-old woman. Wow. Really, like, it's funny, but for real, it's some true stuff. Now, how did we get there? I don't know. But I do know that we cannot truly walk into our evolution without the whole workover, right? Now, listen, there is a difference between masking your emotions and balancing them, right? Do you agree with that? Y'all need to subscribe and comment, okay? Because covering them up or holding them in to let out later is not balancing them, girls. It's not even a temporary fix. You just not dealing with yourself at all. And when you do that, it's like you handle yourself any kind of way. So it's just like just going along with the moment type of allow yourself to be any way you want to be moment, right? And you won't speak up for yourself, right? You won't. I wrote a poem about this very way of living life. It's called Can We Talk? And it's on my sophomore album titled Clear Volume Plug. No, but it talks about crying out of your conscience and like your inner angel, you know? And I know that's not directly dealing with your emotions. However, I believe that it's all a chain of command, like anything in life. And we must realize the process of it and then go through the steps to get to the finished product, right? Right? It makes sense, right? Okay. Now, where I am on here is, let's see. Y'all know, you know what happened? I needed to do this. And that's why I'm off track. Oh my God. She made it good today. Like, she always makes it good, but woohoo! That is so good. And just like that, I'm back. Okay. And that is what our special guest specializes in. She has written her new book titled Lost in a Familiar Place, which is a spiritually based book. And it basically is a guide to understanding God's will for our lives, which I feel is the root answer for the balance of our emotions. It's the real deal, y'all. That's what we want, though. We don't have time for temporary fixes over here. You understand? And okay, I'm putting y'all on to game. Now, ask yourself, what was the worst thing that you've done based off of your emotions? Okay? Never mind the good. Because when you're happy, it's not an unbalance. There's nothing wrong in that moment, so you are stable and your feelings are safe inside of your happiness. So safe, right? They're so safe that we would love to leave them there. We would. But how unrealistic or how realistic would that be? All right, so ask yourself, if you could take back the worst thing you ever said to someone when you were emotional, what would it be? Right? Just ask yourself that. And you can comment that too, because I would like to know what some people have done based off emotions. Like, how bad has it been? You don't have to be ashamed of it, you know. I think that they say, like, you know, admitting it or being honest and open is like the first step. So I think it'll be real cool if you did that with me or with us on Eat with the Poet. All right. So basically, That's a question that I want you guys to ask yourself. And then also what I want you to ask yourself is, if you could take back the worst thing you ever said to someone when you were emotional, what would that take back be? Were you sorry afterwards? And how long did it take for you to feel remorse? Did you apologize? Right? It's important to ask yourself these questions that require us, that basically we take accountability for our actions based off our own emotions, right? Do not think just because you're in the world out here making choices that they are the right ones, y'all. Come on now. All right. I'm just saying, especially if you haven't done any evolving as a spiritual being. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. So we are moving right along. We are going to get ready to get into our eating session. But before we do that, I do want to take some time and give a special shout out to MTS Productions and also Rain the Artist for their wonderful work with putting together my video for my poem that I wrote called Can We Talk? Working with you guys was such a pleasure. And I will be releasing that video on my Facebook and my YouTube channel. So you guys, please stay tuned for that project to drop. I know I've been talking about this video since November of 2020, but it's finished and it is ready to drop. So please look out for that video probably in February of 2021 and follow those professionals for more of what they are doing in the world. All right. Okay. So now we are getting ready to go to a break. And we're going to come back and we're going to eat with our guest. I cannot wait to eat with her. She is going to talk to you a little bit about her book that she just released. And that's what we're doing. See you guys right back here. Eat with the Poet.
A&E Financial and Tax Services are now accepting clients. We are located in the Jewelry Exchange Plaza, 7124 North University Drive, near the DD's Plaza. So come on in, book your appointment.
And we are back with Eat with the Poet, and I am here with my beautiful, wonderful, special guest. Everybody give us some love. Yay. We are in the building with author Valerie Williams, y'all. I need y'all to understand what's going on at this table right now, okay? But first, before we get into my author real quick, I don't want to step on your time, but I want to give a shout out to Frankie Red Words, Frankie Rosso, the maker of this lipstick called Bezos by Red. And it is actually what I'm wearing right now. She is a poet, an artist, a host, just colorful, y'all, in the entertainment industry. But she also has her own line of lipsticks and lip glosses, which I have my own other two colors, a pink and a purple. But anyway, you guys should show her some love. Look her up. She's out there doing her thing. Bezos by Red. Okay, real quick. So this is the new book. This is the book that we have invited this beautiful guest on. Tell our people here a little bit about who you are and where they can find you and what you have going on right now.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for honoring me to be a guest on Eat with the Poet. I want to share my book that God gave me and planted inside of me. And actually it came from being in the ministry and feeling like there has to be more. Doing this all the time, going to church all my life, praising God and giving Him everything I have. But still, I'm like, it has to be more. Right. So God began to plant this seed in me. It's like lost in a familiar place. I know this place, but it's not taking me where I need to go. And God gave me this.
Okay.
So in this, He pointed out some elements that help pull me, and I think would help pull you or draw you to a place that would help you find the purpose that God has for you.
Okay. All right. I have this thing that I do where people come and sit with me. I haven't developed it yet quite, but I have this I'm still in the process of it. I always tell people that, but it's like, okay, it's like, it's like an amen.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I got you, amen.
Yeah. So, we have fun. We do things here at Eat with the Poet. I don't know if you guys see any similarities in us. If we look alike, I don't know,
Well,
I don't know. I mean, that's not only a new author and just a guest. Summer, can I get some water for her with some lime in it? You got lemon in it or lime?
I can cut them up.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, my love. Summer in the building. You feel me? Yes, please do. We getting ready to eat, y'all. I know y'all thought that we was gonna have food on the table when we came back, because that's what you guys have seen in the past. But we do things, the way things go. We just do what it is around here, So we jump right in.
And I'm falling right in there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, So, I mean, have you been able to promote the book as much, or like, how's it going with that?
Well, I've been working with WP Management also.
WP Marketing. Shouts out to WP Marketing.
Yes.
One
They've
time.
been phenomenal.
Yes.
They have been absolutely phenomenal. She's done some press release that have gotten me some nationwide notoriety.
Come on through now.
Yeah, she's been very good. I mean, I see the posts that she put on Facebook and the attention that is drawing, and the sales have been very good. God has been very, very good, and I'm grateful.
Right. And it's kind of cool because you're a first-time author, and I know that it has generated a feeling for you. And it's just like a lot of people out there, they probably got so much stuff inside of them that they want to get out, or maybe they want to write a book and they don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that you've been in that place so many times where you picked up a paper and a pen, or you got on your computer and got started and you wanted to put something out into the world and share it with people, but you didn't even know what the first step was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How do you, give a little bit of encouragement to people who maybe want to write a book or put something out there that they think can be effective for people?
Well, the thing I started doing was, once I got the thoughts, I would go to the computer and I would just start jotting down things and then I would be in the middle of something and God would give me something and I'll go and type up a little something else. And once you get the message all together, one of the things that I've come to look for when, people said, I bought 2, I bought 3, I bought this, whatever. My thing is, have you read it?
Right.
What are you getting out of it? Is it blessing you? Is it taking you somewhere?
Right.
Is it giving you what I meant for God to give you? Right. So that's important to me.
And that's cool too that you said that. I'm sorry to cut you, but it's true because sometimes people feel like supporting you is just spending their money with you and buying something and then taking it home and just keeping it on the shelf or having it in their collection and be able to say to you on the surface, like, girl, I bought your book.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and that's a very real thing when you say that. You bought it, but have you read it?
Yeah. And that means a lot to me.
Right.
When I get a text or I got your book and I can't put it down.
Right.
That means so much to me.
Purpose.
Yeah.
That's how you know when you're tapping in a little bit because you know people are being affected. And that's when the return on that for you is fulfillment on the inside. Yes. And so then you're like, okay, I'm tapping in a little bit. You're
like, I'm saying, thank you, Lord.
Right.
Thank you, Lord.
Right.
It's making a difference,
I'm
Lord.
telling you.
You got it, Jesus.
Okay.
Work it out now, Lord.
Okay.
Don't get me excited up here.
Right. That's how she break it down, y'all. Like, ever since I was a kid, one thing I can say about my guest, my mother, author Valerie Williams, she'll be the shyest person, maybe, possibly. She's not like a person who loves attention, but I've always known that thing to come out when you talk about Jesus.
Come on, now.
Like I say, gang, gang, gang. Wait, my J's. These my gang signs right here, Mom. These my gang signs. These my J's. No, and I think that's cool because we all have something in us that, you know how they say, talk to a person about something they love, and then you guys will talk for hours.
My God. You talk about the goodness of Jesus.
Okay.
And all that He's done for me and the difference that He can allow me to make in someone else's life.
I'm telling you.
That's amazing.
And that's what it's about for me. You know what I'm saying? For what I do or whatever. Everybody has their own purpose and their calling, and everybody has to walk in their shoes the way that God is carving out their journey, you know? And I just feel like what I do is what God wants me to do in the way that I do it. You know what I'm saying? And it isn't always an easy path, you know? It's not something that, you know, is going to be handed to you, but when it's like how they say, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. You know, when you about that life and you serious and you don't play no games about it. You know, it doesn't really matter what's happening, or, you know, even those times when I'm feeling a little like how we talked about on the first show, you know, how sometimes you just feel, you know, looked over or pushed aside, or you just feel like you're putting in so much of the grind and you're not seeing all the return that you want. You know, it's a keep going thing for me. You know, it's a consistency thing for me. You know, and I actually want to take the time to thank you right now, you know, for all your support throughout the years of this journey that I've been on. You know, I have no clue in life where I would be if you had not, you know, been my support. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful to God. We ain't stopping the praise, but we about to give him a little bit more praise.
Hello.
Cause we about. Let me move this thing. I say, but Jesus. Oh yeah. Like Martin say, Casey, JoJo. You remember that episode, Mom, where he was like, the Barnell man cash, boing boing. And Martin was doing everything he could to get on the show.
Yes, I remember. That was good.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I ain't get no. Oh, here you go.
There. Right there.
All right. So today, y'all, we got a little something. We went soul food on them. All right. We went soul food on them today. We went on ahead and got us what you got over there in your plate? You got pork chops?
Well, I got a little porky chop.
Oh, she said porky?
With a little gravy.
Oh, come on through
I
now.
have some mac and cheese.
Oh.
I've already tasted it. It's very good.
Oh, my God.
I have a little collard greens.
Oh, college. Okay. Take them to school with the greens.
Yes.
Oh, baby. I'm just trying to cut this pork chop up so I can go ahead and just taste one piece of this pork chop.
Somebody know a little something about collard greens.
Somebody know a little something? Ooh.
Know a little something about
Let me get into this. Y'all need to understand what's happening right here. Y'all coming to eat with me? Y'all coming to eat with me? Oh, why? Let me say, oh, why? People always laugh at me when I do my little Jamaican accent.
Well, you do it pretty good.
Mama, I do it pretty good. Oh, shout out to Mr. Nelson. Mr. Nelson, an amazing man. He always makes fun of my Jamaican accent because he feels like I'm not authentic. But
I don't know. You sound pretty good.
Ooh, this tastes good. This is that time where you kind of want to be quiet and just eat. Because you don't really want to be bothered. Yeah, you don't want to be interrupted. You don't want to break it down. Yeah. So, when we do get finished eating, I do have some questions for you. Because, you know, today's topic was basically about emotions and, different things like that. And I just kind of want to get in your head a little bit, see where you're at. And oh, excuse me, y'all. Hold on. That's why you ain't supposed to talk and eat. Because you might choke. Listen. Yeah, just kind of pick your brain a little bit and see
what you think about today's topic. But real quick, what is your book about?
I got the digest.
You ain't got long. Okay. People wants to know.
It's about finding your purpose. Everybody has a purpose. Mm-hmm. Don't you hear people? I remember growing up in church, and people would always ask, "What's God called me to do? What is my purpose? What am I here for? What should I be doing?" Then they start stuff, and even with working with students, they'll go to school for a year, and then they change their mind. They'll go to school for 2 years, and then they'll change their mind.
That's true.
They're trying to find their way, trying to find who they are. This doesn't feel right to me. This doesn't feel good to me. So then they change. Then you got people who are career students, go to school. Mm-hmm. After they get this degree, they go to another degree. Don't know what the purpose is. Mm-hmm. And one thing this book does, it helps you find where you are, helps you be able to identify the voice of God so that He can lead you into your purpose. Not away from your purpose, but divine purpose. Purpose that gives you purpose.
And I think that's so cool. Yeah. I think it's so important too, because how many of us really even think about what our purpose is? I mean, I think so many people, they kind of think about it and then they don't really, concentrate on it, because life itself is a routine, or it can consume you and you forget, and we push a lot of things to the back of our mind, and so many people, I feel like, leave this earth without having found out the actual reason that God put us here as individuals, because I do understand with what I do, He put me here for a reason. Like, I was birthed from you, but with my own journey to take in life, And so why is that not the thing that people consider to be the most important thing in life? It just baffles me. But I think that's really cool that you actually are helping people tap into that, because that is needed. Like, that's necessary.
I heard one of the preachers say, one of the most richest places on this earth is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard lies all the dreams that never were developed. All of the billionaires that never walked into their purpose. All of the books that were never written. All of the billionaires that never walked or took a chance to find out my purpose so that I can develop and come into, because the Bible says, I know the plans that I have for you.
That's what it says.
And those plans are to prosper you. So God has already designed us to be prosperous.
Right.
We're supposed to be prosperous.
Right.
But the key is finding your purpose into prosperity.
And that ain't always something that, is going to fall right into your lap. Sometimes trials in life and tribulations bring you into your purpose.
It does. But it kind of goes into your topic today also. We talk about emotions. One of this book does, it says, first, let's do a self-evaluation. When you're dealing with emotions, you got
Don't get into them now. Don't break them down now. Okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. I got questions. Questions for you. Okay. You about to go ahead on. I ain't even asked you that. Did I ask you that? You told something about your emotions today in the subject. No, wait.
But it's just ironic how things tie in.
The dots.
The things that we don't think. The simple things we go over to get to the big things. And we wonder why these big things don't develop into the humongous things they should be.
Right.
Because we forgot about the little things.
Right. And it is the little things that builds up to be, man, that's some real stuff. Like, a building is nothing without the screws. Because screws are what hold different things together. So You know, you might not see screws behind the walls and different things like that, but I'm gonna need y'all to understand the little things and how powerful they are to get to the bigger things. So that's
and I'm gonna take it just a little further.
Go ahead. I don't get it to
You can
now.
get all the screws in the world you want, all the nails and all the plaster, but if you don't build it on a solid foundation, you're gonna have a problem.
I think we have a problem. That's the truth.
You
Now
need a
that's the
foundation.
truth. You need a solid foundation, which is like what I was saying earlier about the layers and, you know, just making sure that everything is separated individually, because you guys take some getting through, and that's the work that I think people are not willing to do or even recognize needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing is like, how do we get people to even recognize that, hey, you know what I'm saying? First, you gotta wait, just chill, slow down, just wait a second and calm down, and let's take it, you know, layer by layer. What is this about you? What is that about you? Okay, you know, because we have to break down our personalities, our characteristics, different things that we do that make up of who we are on a daily basis that might not even involve nobody else. But it's like when somebody gave you something like at the drive-thru, for example, you know, somebody gave you something at the drive-thru and you just, you know, where to catch up at. You know, little things, whether you're frustrated from where you just came from, but we have to work on those things about ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Definitely.
It is a big deal. So, no, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I think people need to really tap in. And at first, when I heard that word, tap in, I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. But it's a true thing. You know, it's we can't really get anywhere unless we dig deep first. Otherwise, we're just standing on a rug with a whole bunch of stuff under it. And have you ever done that? Felt something under the rug?
Yeah. And you know, let's take it back to when we were kids. And the little fairy tale story where the princess laid in the bed and the mattress was way up to the top, and she couldn't sleep. And there was a little pit in there.
Tiny pit.
That's what sin is. No wonder why we lack the power and authority to move in the power that God has called us to have. That's sin that we refuse to ask for forgiveness for, to leave behind.
Right.
Because we understand that certain behaviors perpetuate the next behavior.
That's it.
Perpetuates the next behavior.
That's it. That's it.
Right, like kids. I got away with it this time. I get away with it this time. And I get away with it this time. Next time. So then we don't do better.
Right.
We don't do better. We remain the same. And because of that, we develop habits.
Bad habits.
And habits that are leading in the wrong direction can mess up your future.
That's it. I believe that. I agree with that.
I know that.
Yeah. Because it's a matter of choices, too.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Every morning we wake up, it's about choice. You choose to get up and speak positive, or you can get up and speak negative. Today is a terrible day. You just declared your day.
Yeah, straight up. For real.
Dear, what'd you say? Get your emotions in check, boo-boo.
Yeah. For real. We really need to. I got some questions over here that I have for my guests. We're going to break into that part as soon as we get ready to wrap up this eating session that we have going on here. The pork chop was amazing. Shout out again to Chef Terrence in the back.
Very good.
She said very good. Very good, Chef Terrence. Very good. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. I'm probably going to eat a little bit more. I ain't going to lie, because the pork chop is on and popping. On and popping. All right, so we'll be right back. Eat with the poet. Here, and I have Vel P, who's filming for me.
Just finished my photo shoot with Vel P Entertainment, and I am so pleased Entertainment.
VLP.
VLP.
Photography.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Make sure you hit up VLP Entertainment and Photography.
And we are back from our eating session, and I am just full. How about you? For real.
Yes.
It was good.
Very
it was
good.
delicious. Let me get myself together because Maury from Beyond Imagination Body Art, she requires me to keep my lips made up no matter what's going on the set because she works so hard on my makeup, so I just love her for that. Now, we are in the questions portion, and this is the fun part because we actually get to hear perspective of our guest and what she feels about today's topic. She was trying to fire off on me early, but no. I want you to answer these questions so people can get all this. Okay. So, my first question, of course, you know what today's topic is about the balance of emotions and maturity and different things like that, and how important it is for us to actually take care of it. Like we take care of our mental health, we have to take care of our emotions. Do you agree?
Definitely.
All right. What do you think is good emotional health?
Good emotional health is the ability to process the information. So what do I say? I mean, okay, so you've been faced with, so many people are faced with this COVID situation. Well, we are. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so we're all faced with it.
Correct.
Now, how do you process that? A lot of people are not processing it well. So their emotions are getting the best of them.
Right.
So
Right.
good emotions is going to require that you departmentalize in your head all of the things that you've got to channel through your mind.
Correct.
And once you departmentalize them, you process them in a healthy manner. So good emotional health is learning how to process what life deals you.
I agree with that. I had a friend who always responds to things slowly. Like something dramatic can happen, and they first don't have a reaction at all, and then it's like they think, and then they'll act or respond according to that. And I always was like, how? But then in other ways, that person isn't so chill. You know what I'm saying? But it's just it's true. Like it's a process of elimination.
So even thinking about your friend, processing slow doesn't mean you process properly.
That's true. That's true.
So
it's
true. About learning how you process, looking at the results of how you process, then reevaluating or evaluating, does this produce a good harvest?
Right. Correct.
Okay. So then you have to not just to get the good health, but then you have to evaluate, when I do that, is that a good thing?
Right.
Am I always saying I'm sorry?
Right.
Do I always have to? How many people every time you turn around a day later or a couple hours later, they call you back and say, I'm sorry I said so and so, or I did so and so. And you forgive them.
Right.
And then here we go tomorrow, the same thing.
Right.
Or in a couple hours.
Right. And then you have those people who just don't apologize to you at all. They just kind of wait for time to do its thing, and how do we deal with things that way, not caring about what the other person feels and just kind of convincing yourself mentally, like, you know what, I said what I said, I did what I did, and I don't like that I did that, I'm sorry about that, but when she called me, I'll tell her, you know what I'm saying, when I talk to her, I'll tell her, so, I mean, it's so uneven, and I think it's something that people need to recognize the importance of in order for us to function properly. So let me ask you, now, we understand what you say is good emotional health, but what is bad emotional health? Like, how do you recognize that you have bad emotional health and that, because I remember I mentioned earlier in my conversation when I asked the young lady, do you think you're an emotional creature? And she responded, yes, because I always respond to things emotionally. And then she gave me an example. And that is the true honesty. But for those of us who are not in a place to instantly say, you know what, yeah, You know, I think so. I think my emotional health is bad, or I'm not sure, you know.
If you find that you have to always apologize for your responses or what you've done, then you might want to reevaluate how you respond. If you find that you have always got to justify your response, you might want to reevaluate your response.
And it's something how we justify.
Definitely. Because you know why? We want to be right in everything.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. First of all, as children of God, we have to understand that we ain't always right. We don't have all the answers.
Correct.
And even the answers we give, we need to consult God about.
That's it.
Because
that's the real deal.
We only know half of the story.
That's it.
What story is that? How we see it.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Seriously. I'm totally in agreement with that. Yeah. All right. So my next question for you is, how do you recognize when it's time to take some time and reevaluate your emotions?
How do I know when it's time to take, when it keeps producing such havoc in your life? Okay? When you find that, okay, let's talk about, let's say relationships. Okay. So you get into a relationship based on looks. Oh, my God, he looks good. And you get all in, okay? Then you're hurt again because you don't want to take in the facts. The fact is he ain't got no job. The fact is he ain't got no car.
Come on,
the fact is that he ain't treat the last woman right, but he looked good and it made you feel good. So you made a decision based on emotion. It's time to reevaluate how you let your emotions lead you in directions that your mind tell you ain't the direction I need to be going. You know, how many of us, how many women, how many men get caught up in emotions? Oh man, she look good. Caught up in those emotions.
Because lust is an emotion, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Caught up in those emotions and know, number one, she belonged to somebody else. Number two, you already got somebody. Number three.
Oh, she say, he belonged to somebody else and you already got somebody.
Not to mention, if they decide to be affectionate, what about protection? I mean, maybe I'm taking it too far.
No.
But the fact is, that emotion makes them forget about all the consequences.
I'm telling you. And that's crazy.
Emotion.
That's a very real thing. Yeah. And so many people are functioning in emotions, men and women both.
Definitely.
You know, and there's no resolve because, you know, it's almost like living a double life. You know, being a certain way on the surface, and then like how when you were saying, oh, you got a man, she got a man, you know, you have this way that you're living. People don't know that. You know, you're an emotional creature, you know, who really needs help on all levels, because when we live life like we don't have a problem or we don't need to fix nothing, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm just like this, but I ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know somebody who like this. You know what I'm saying? Who real worse than like go off on people and do this. I mean, we're so, like how you were saying, justified because other people are so much worse than us. So we see it. But we don't even realize how many layers we need to pull back because we're convinced that we're not that bad.
And you know, one of the worst things to do that I find people always do is they blame somebody else for their emotions. Well, I wouldn't have did this if you had not. What did Adam tell? This woman you gave me caused me to sin. Okay, I would. How many men and women are in abusive relationships and say you made me do?
I've heard a woman say to me that I didn't know he was married, but now it's too late. I mean, what you want me to do about it? What you want me to do about it? Like she's trying to convince someone else or me that, you know, she's in a place where that's just happened and this is her life now, that she loves this man, and regardless of whatever situation he has going on, she's stuck because she's now in love with him. I mean,
it's sad that we let people control our emotions to the point that they control the way we see things.
Yes.
You know, you're talking about the young lady. I remember I was in a hospital once, and I met a young lady and she was saying, she said her boyfriend had beat her. And I'm like, I'm getting all hype. I'm like, what? He beat you? She told me he beat me until my clothes came off. And I'm like, what? She said she was running down the street. And I'm saying, what? And I'm getting like, did you call the police? And then she told me, but if you don't beat me, he don't love me. She has allowed this man to convince her that love looks like a beating. When our emotions cause us harm and we can't identify the danger signs,
wow,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
That's a problem. Yes, it is.
Wow. And that's when it's time to reevaluate your emotions. Yes, trust and believe. Definitely. All right. So tell us, how does one evolve emotionally? Because I think that's the place we're all striving, or we should be striving for. The evolution of our emotions. I said earlier that we need to get to the emotional balance of an 80-year-old, really, because, I've seen them not rattled. Even if it does affect them, I don't even know, because they just are so balanced in that. So how do we evolve?
There are some ways that we evolve in emotion. First, like in my book, take inventory. Inventory your emotions. Get your pencil and paper and start writing things down. Okay. When I respond this way, this is what it looks like. When I respond this way, this is what it looks like. Look at that. Then what you need to do is learn how to express your feelings in a positive way. A lot of times we respond negatively because we're overwhelmed. We don't know how to say it. We don't know how we should get it out. Learn how to express your feelings positively.
And that's true, because sometimes I've witnessed where emotions kind of burn up like a fire inside of you, and it's like shaky hands. You don't know what to do. You just gotta,
learn how to think before you speak. Before you think, because a lot of times if you take the time to think, you won't say it. Then you'll sit back and I'm so glad I didn't say that. The next thing, learn how to manage your stress. Don't let stress manage you. Learn how to manage your stress. We all got stress. So, do you need to walk for a few minutes? Do you need to do some jumping jacks? Okay. Do you need to drink some hot coffee? Okay. Whatever it takes to manage your stress. Figure out what it works for you and manage your stress. The next thing, strive to balance things. Don't go over the edge. Just you stop doing like an addict sometimes. They might stop smoking, but then they overeat. They may stop doing one thing, but then they overdo it. Learn how to manage these things. Compartmentalize. Okay? Dump. Learn how to do that. Next thing you want to do is take care of your physical health. Because when you don't take care of your physical health, you're going to have mental health problems. That's it. Okay? That's it. Exercise is a good way of taking care of your mental health. You got to get that stress out. Some people got to have sex, whatever it is.
And I've learned that because it's been times where I have, as a woman, felt sad or, didn't know why. I just didn't like myself or certain things. And then I realized when I've come to you and you say, well, have you been working out or have you been walking or doing things like that? Because working out does make me feel good.
Endorphins going.
Yeah, it makes me feel better about myself. And so I think that's really cool. We live and popping in GG's, y'all. So
one final thing I want to say in managing stress, find purpose. Everybody needs purpose. You've got to feel essential. Some women find purpose in their children. Find purpose in life. Something that makes you feel good, that you feel that you can give back. Because I don't care who you are, you want to feel needed and loved.
But now, when you say some people find purpose in their children, would you say it's safe to say that we should find our own individual purpose that God has placed us here for? Because when we start to focus completely and put the people that we love, when we start to really hone in on them and then they start to take on their own journeys, that's also like a a thing that we have to go through, kind of like a heartbreak thing.
Well, that goes back to managing,
Mm-hmm.
compartmentalizing.
That's true.
Putting things in order.
Right.
But the thing about it is, you know how many children would love to have a parent who found purpose in them?
Wow.
Because when you find purpose in investing in your children, you give them purpose.
Wow.
So it's important.
Yes. I love that. I love how you spun that around. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Give it to them. That's why I was telling y'all it's the real deal. We ain't playing no games over here. All right. So, my next question for you, which you kind of be all over the place in my questions. I don't even know why you do that. Like, you know. But this question is, how does your book relate to today's topic? Well, she kind of told y'all, but just give us a little bit. How does your book relate to today's topic and how people need to try to help themselves by balancing their emotions?
Well, one of the things I have said in other interviews is we have two sources. We have Satan and we have Christ.
Okay.
One of those sources you're going to be controlled by or influenced by. We know that Christ has come to give us life and that we would have life more abundantly. We know that Satan has come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Right.
So, decide who your source is going to be. If Christ is going to be your source that controls your next move, then get to know him. He has characteristics.
Wow.
Love, peace, joy, understanding.
So
he has all of that good stuff. And if he moves you and he promotes your next move, you're going to respond with love. You're going to respond with understanding. You're going to respond with kindness.
Come on.
But if Satan is your source, then you're going to be all over the place.
And it's funny when you say that because I know, and I'm almost sure, like how when we go into the grocery stores and we're amongst the living, we know that there are Christians walking around because we are, and we're walking around. But how many people will openly admit that Satan is their source?
They're not.
You know,
They're not.
openly admit that this is what drives them. You know, that is a thing that nobody's talking about.
Unfortunately, you know what? People in their brain have gotten to the point that it's an in-between place. There is no in-between place.
Correct.
There is one or the other.
I'm going to need people to understand that.
One or the other. Who promotes your next move?
Come on now. We ain't in church. We don't eat with a poet, but I'm feeling this spirit right now. Or maybe it's the Bob Marley. But it's definitely the real stuff that I'm getting right now. I'm serious. All right. So I have another question for you. Actually, I have two more questions for you. Right. So my next question for you, which you kind of already answered, you're so intelligent and you answer questions before they're asked.
Oh, wow. The Holy Spirit.
Right. So tell women, what do you do personally? Because I'm sure you've endured some very real trials in life and have really had to go through the making of who you've become today, hence Lost in a Familiar Place. What do you do to balance your emotions, in your personal life?
Well, in my book, I mentioned through there's so many struggles and trials that I've kind of gone through and how I had to learn how to trust God. Right. And in there, I had to go to those different scriptures that gave me life when I wanted to give up, when I felt like life was over. You know, when my emotions was taking over and death seemed like it was the right answer or the right direction for me. Right. I had to resort to that greater power inside of me. I had to allow the Holy Ghost to come up and speak to me and say, you shall live and not die. I had to learn how to pray. Like he told David, encourage yourself. I had to learn how to encourage myself in adversity. Wow. And the loss of my husband, I couldn't see any I couldn't see it. Right. You know, right. For over 30 years, I fought with a man. I lived with a man. When I went to the grocery store, I had to incorporate this man. And when we paid bills, I had to incorporate. So in my mind, I'm lost. Right. My half of my brain was gone. So what did I need God to do? create me over.
Wow.
I need you to create me over because the me that was is no more.
Wow. Wow.
I had to resort to who I knew. That source that gave me this book. That source that let me find that you're not lost, you're not alone.
Wow.
I got you. Stand there, hold on. And sometimes it was like holding on to a shaking thing.
Right.
Lord, the world shaking, tribulation shaking, but I'm holding on. And he didn't let me go.
Wow.
So even though it seems overwhelming, and we are all going to face adversities. And trust me, if you keep living, you're going to face death.
Right. Correct.
God is still a source. And he's the only source that can pull you through.
Right.
I don't care what nobody say. There are no words people can give you. There are no conversations they can give you. There's no money they can pass to you. Nothing but the power of God is going to pull you out some of the dark places. Some people deal with depression all the time.
Right.
But you're going to have to learn how to pray. You're going to have to say, you pray, you don't have it. You got to continually pray.
Correct.
You got to encourage yourself. Just start speaking to yourself. Get some scriptures and write them down. Encourage yourself. Just start talking to yourself because you begin to believe what you keep hearing. So start talking. It ain't going to happen until you open your mouth. The thing about it is we waiting for somebody always, give me a word, give me a word, give me a word. God said you have the ability to speak to yourself. Open your mouth.
Come on now. I say, come on now. You doing it to me. Y'all, we in the building with Author Valerie Williams. Okay? I would need y'all to understand. All right. So I have one last question for you, which you've already answered. But for those of you who need it to be asked specifically, so I'm going to ask you this question, which you've already answered. Okay. But I'm going to ask it specifically for those of them who need me to ask it directly. What do you recommend as a tool for women or people that they can use daily to balance and mature the use of their emotions, throughout life?
Okay. One of the things you can do is start putting things in writing. I used to see people always write a list of what they have to do, what they need to do, what I've got to go, where I've got to go. We have a schedule for everything. Start scheduling yourself for encouragement. Start scheduling time to just, give me an affirmation. A lot of times women always want somebody to, or not just women, men need to be stroked too.
Right, correct.
Okay, schedule a time for you. Every day, schedule something you're going to do to encourage yourself and put it down and write it down and remember it. And then get some scriptures in the Bible that speaks life to your situation. Read them. Get to understand them. Because don't just read them, but get clarity on them so that your heart can receive that and understand that. Do it daily. Then move on to something else. Develop that thing. But the first thing you have to do is write down, understand who am I, where am I, what is my situation, what do I need to develop, what needs to be spoken to in my life, what needs to be fixed in my life. Sometimes we can't move forward because we don't know what's broke.
Right.
We got to find out where it's broke at.
Correct.
And the only person can do that is God.
Okay.
It's God.
You and God.
You can't fix that. If you could fix it, it wouldn't be broke.
Right.
God has to do it.
But you have to make a choice. It takes you first to make a choice to say that, I want to be fixed.
I want to be fixed and I don't have the answers.
Right.
I don't have the answers.
Right.
Okay, that's the thing. When we think we can fix it, that's the problem. Why it's still broke.
Okay, so there go the answer right there. That's the answer.
Seek God. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your path. The first thing I want you to know, the Bible says that laughter does like medicine. Learn how to laugh.
Wow.
Learn how to just laugh. What are you laughing at? Even when you're sad, just start laughing. Just start laughing. Laugh.
Yeah.
It's like medicine. You'll find that it'll wipe away the tears.
I laugh all the time.
Medicine. What do you take medicine for? Because you're sick. Laughter does like medicine.
Yes, it does.
What you need to do is learn how to laugh.
Learn how to laugh, y'all. Oh my God, that was so good and so powerful and so useful for everybody, for me, for our guests, for Vel, for just anybody that came in contact with that topic or that subject today. I'm praying and I'm believing that you was able to take something away from that. So that's real cool. We get ready to wrap up today's session. We definitely going to give some more shout outs. We do want to thank our special guest for coming out today. It was such a pleasure to have you here with us today. And then we're going to be shouting out one more time, Gigi's Music Cafe. We are shouting out Vel P. We're shouting out Beyond Imagination. We're shouting out Lao Me, who is actually airing on tonight's show at 7 p.m. Y'all make sure you subscribe to my channel and like. Also, we are shouting out, let me get to my notes so I don't miss nobody. Please, y'all. We got to shout out WP Marketing one more time. We're shouting out Queens Love Passion. Who else are we shouting out? You have anybody you wanted to acknowledge before we get out of here? Oh, where can they find your book? Real quick.
Amazon.com.
Please go to Amazon or either OpenDoorSeason.com.
Yeah.
Open Door Season, just the way it sounds. OpenDoorSeason.com, or you could go to Amazon.com and find that book. One more time for MTS Productions, Rain the Artist. We're shouting out Tiffany Wright. We are shouting out Crystal Chanel with Press Release Marketing. We are shouting out Miss Gigi Brown. We are shouting out Iana. We are shouting out A&E Financial Services, E&P Hair for Me. And finally, last but not least, we are shouting out Cool People because he's getting ready to take us out of here. Eat with the Poet. See you guys soon.
Peace to all the queens.
Stuff like that. We live.
Tapping in.
I need everybody to tap in.
Cool people.
Everybody to tap in.
Eat with a poet.
Subscribe.
Never leak it or show it.
Shout out
Gotta
to
pull
Elaina.
your own weight. If you reap it, you sow it. Come here with a poet. Gotta plant it and grow it. Drop that artificial food. Come and eat with a poet. Kicking words with the poets, I get lyrical. Physical is great, my journey now is spiritual. Peace to the queens in the nation and foreign. I would like to introduce you to Elaina the poet.